Hello my fellow Ekko enjoyers. Today I'll be checking out Xiao Ben's new Ekko build. In the thumbnail we already saw it's a Nashor's plus Lichbane and no Rocket Belt build. You can also see here a Hail of Blades. I think in this kind of build, without Rocket Belt you always need to run Hail of Blades. There's no real way around it. So yeah, I just want to see. I've heard people talk about this quite a bit actually. And apparently like damage-wise it's just much better. I've played a lot of different builds, but honestly, like for me, the Rocket build has not felt as bad as people have been saying, in my opinion at least. But maybe I just could have way more damage if I play with other builds. But yeah, this is always what you want to try and do with the Hail of Blade setup, especially into these mages. Just E on them when they're like auto-attacking a minion or something, and then proc your passive. It's quite good for winning lane. And he also, of course, he's a big Scorch enjoyer, so he really goes for winning lane. You can see here, just throwing the Q. Unless the Nico makes a big mistake, he's not gonna get more, but you just need to take those small wins in lane. Oh, ooh, really good. The way he dodged the Nico E to not get CC'd. So yeah, now the Nico really should be struggling. And in these situations, it's really important to not push, you know? You can see he's only taking last hits because at this point, the Nico, she has a really hard time walking up, you know, even as a ranged champ. So just make sure not to just randomly shove the wave now and basically make the game easier for the opponent. So, but of course, I'm also not a mid-expert, but this is the kind of stuff that I think I do understand at least. You can see also very classic thing to do, you know, when the enemy wants to go for a cannon, which is of course the most important thing to get in a wave, you can often look to punish them for that. So she basically had to trade a bunch of HP for it, for the gold. It's kind of how you should look at the game in general, in a lot of ways, you know, just like looking at the trading, you know, often you'll just trade resources for other resources. Let's see who plays this. Oh, sad. No ignite or anything, so you couldn't really get the Nico. Very close. And see, Nico W is actually kind of countered by Ekko because you apply stack, so you know right away when which is the real one. And now, oh, he was fast enough there. It's crazy. he almost didn't get her. Very close. I actually also would have thought that he gets her there, to be honest. Again, just going for short trades. No joke, if you play with this Hail of Blade setup, you just need to play with aggression, I think. That's definitely a mistake I do when I... It's like, when I play on Smurf accounts or whatever, I do play with that aggression just because I have no respect for the enemy. But as soon as I play into more equally matched opponents, for some reason I become cautious, and I feel like a lot of people do that. So you just automatically play better, even though it has like... There's no real reason to. It's really just confidence. He's actually quite strong here. But yeah, not too much you can do. Man, I really want to see how the meta is, or how this game looks in the mid to late game without Rocket Belt. I mean, I've also played a few games without Rocket Belt, but I definitely regretted it in a bunch of them. Okay, so Lichbane seems to be the first item though, and then Nash was second, I guess. Massive stun here. I feel like he says something about wanting to get the shutdown there, I'm not sure. Okay, let's see how strong he is just with Lichbane first. I actually think that Storm Surge is not even gonna be a good item for Ekko next patch. They're gonna nerf it again, by the way. And already Lichbane has a higher win rate than Storm Surge as a second item with Rocket Belt first. So yeah, really not sure. And another thing to think about, what I feel like most people are completely not abusing, is the fact that items like Zhonya's and Banshees, they give 120 AP now. So maybe you should just be building more defensive items. Especially right now when everyone's only building offensive items, basically. Like, the defensive stats these items give are pretty massive. Okay, damage seems pretty solid here. Oh, he has this game in English. That's interesting. No mana for ult. Done. And she also plays Scorch or something. But yeah, unless this build that Xiao Lao Ben is playing here is actually gonna be the best build, then the item build for Ekko literally didn't really change since last season, which is kinda sad, to be honest. Unless people find out some new tech, I guess, but... right now the best win rate build is literally Rocket Belt into Lichbane into Rabadons, so... and then if Storm Surge actually gets nerfed, I feel like, I don't know. I really don't know if it's like an actual stat thing that Riot sees that Storm Surge is broken, or if it's just because people are constantly complaining about it. Because I feel like lethality items are a way bigger problem than Storm Surge. And whenever I play with Storm Surge, I don't feel like I'm unfair or anything like that. I don't know. He has the 2 items now. Kinda hard to say, but like the damage wasn't super impressive here, to be honest. I think with these kind of builds, like, you're just gonna die way more often. Like, maybe you can actually adapt to it, but I think in general you will definitely die a bit more often. I'm sure if you really adapt to playing with a rocket build, you can have success as well, but the defensive value of it is very big for sure. And see, like in situations like that, you're just gonna have trouble blocking your passive, you know? With rocket belt, okay, like this guy dashed away anyways, but if he was really quick here, he could have probably rocket belted and then done another auto attack there. I drove back. Oh damn, that was big. I don't think you can do anything to Udyr, and you will see, like, against tanks, I feel like it's literally worse than ever. Like, tank items are so good. This Kenny Rookern or whatever this item is called is so broken. It gives 80 MR and then also, what, like 600, 800 magic shield or something, and then it regens every 12 seconds. It's so disgusting. Okay, that damage looked pretty sick though. He's also quite fat here though. Okay, let's see damage here. Okay. He has Rabadon's completed 23 minutes, so this isn't really a surprise. But one good thing, I guess, about this build for sure is the fact that you have a lot of ability haste. At least compared to when you build Storm Surge. You have the 35s, basically like last season. See, in these situations where you miss your Q, so you don't get the slow, you can just never proc passive. Which I guess you can play around, but again, another scenario where with Rocket Belt he... lol. With Rocket Belt he manages to stun her there. That's actually another thing you need to think about, of course, you know, the ways to get into your W are sometimes just gonna be more difficult without Rocket Belt. What the fuck? I thought people on these servers were better mechanically. What happened to the Lee Sin there? Very important, as you can see here as well. I want to highlight this really quick. The way he's not walking up to these guys like an idiot and tanking damage, he's just waiting for his abilities and then throwing them when he has them up, you know? Like, that's how you need to play Ekko, that's how good people play Ekko. I really wonder if he builds this every game or if it's just like something he tested out and he had a good game with for YouTube. I guess we'll see in the next couple of videos probably. But like, I don't know, this kind of stuff, you know, like you can have games with this kind of performance easily with Rocket Belt as well if you're just snowballed, you know. So I'm honestly not fully convinced by this build just because he has a good game with it here. And I've actually, there's an Ekko walking there. I've really thought about testing building defensive items as your core, just for the stats, and like maybe even going for some kind of tanky build, you know. Maybe tanky builds are like secretly broken in this kind of meta. Maybe even with Conqueror or something like that. I'll maybe test it out, I don't know. But definitely, of course, I personally enjoy playing squishy glass cannon Ekko way more. And that's also actually another thing about like enjoying, you know. I said this in my season 14 itemization video as well. I just, you know, like playing with Rocket Belt is so much more fun for me personally. It's just a whole another layer of making combos and stuff, so missing out on that's definitely a little bit sad. Storm Surge or what? 1000 AP, I'm sure he will deal a lot of damage now. Let's see if he can do it. Okay. Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how all of this develops. I don't think this game is like proof that this build is like the best one or anything like that. It was just a very snowballed game. He built AP items that are obviously not bad on Ekko, and then he was able to play. And as I've said in my season 14 itemization video as well, I think there might just be games where you maybe don't need the Rocket Belt, and then it's good to not build it. But I definitely believe that there are games where you also will need it, and if you don't have that extra dash, you're missing out on a lot of opportunities. So yeah, I'm very curious to see how all of this develops. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and watch the next one. Bye.